Hi, I'm Chef Tina Jo and welcome to Real Life Raw. On today's episode, we're going to be making portobello mushrooms stuffed with a sweet and spicy jalapeno herb cheese sauce. It's absolutely fabulous. Now, most of these ingredients and so much more can be found on sunfood.com. So to create this recipe, what you're going to need is a high-powered blender and a dehydrator. So the first thing I want to do is talk about the portobello mushroom. Love these, absolutely love them. Anytime you're cleaning your mushrooms, what you want to do is just use a paper towel, a damp paper towel, and get rid of any dirt and debris that may be on the mushrooms. You don't want to rinse them underwater because the mushroom will actually absorb all of the water and not the lovely marinade that you've created. So these mushrooms have been soaked in a marinade that I've created for 8 hours. Just put it all together and stuck it in the refrigerator overnight. The marinade is really simple to create. All of these ingredients and the actual amounts are available for download, so don't sweat it, okay? So the marinade is really simple. It's simply sesame oil with some Bragg's amino acid and some pepper. This recipe will actually create 4, as you can see, good-sized portobello mushrooms. So these, again, have been marinated. What we're going to do is create our cheese that we can stuff these with. So the nut of choice for this particular cheese is the Brazil nut. Love this as a cheese. But the first thing we're going to do is add, this is almond milk that I'm adding, and sesame oil. We want to get our liquid and our juiciest recipes ingredients at the very bottom of the blender before we add the nuts. This way it'll process a lot easier. And this is the sweet, this is the agave, this is dark agave. This is cumin that I'm adding, and some salt. And this is Himalayan pink salt. Okay, so on top of that now, we're going to go ahead and add our macadamia nuts, or our Brazil nuts, I'm sorry. And these Brazil nuts have been soaked overnight, and then they've been drained and then rinsed. And now I'm adding nutritional yeast. And Red Star nutritional yeast is the only yeast that I use. It does have B12 in it, which is fabulous. Especially being raw vegan, most of us don't get enough B12, so we need to supplement. This is a great addition to the diet. So we're going to go ahead and blend this. You may need to use your spatula to kind of work the product up a little bit. Be very careful when you use your spatula that you don't go too deep and hit the blades, because then, well, your whole recipe is toast. So here we go. We're going to blend up. Okay, there we go. It's really easy. So you can see I've got my herbs and the jalapeno that I'm going to actually add by hand. And yes, this is a red jalapeno. The green jalapeno, they're certainly wonderful. I use them a lot too, but if you can find the red, go ahead and use those. It's just the green haven't been ripened yet. They're not ripened and they're taken off the vine and used. Again, most of us do use the green, but if you can find the red, it just means that it's nice and ripe and fresh. So we'll get all this cheese out of here. And you want to hand mix your herbs and the jalapeno. Otherwise, it would just be all blended together and you wouldn't be able to see the beautiful bits and pieces. Okay. And this is really beautiful, and it tastes absolutely fantastic. Now, as you can see, the jalapeno, I did go ahead and I de-seeded and de-stemmed and I minced it. If you're brave, you can certainly leave the seeds in if you like it a little bit spicier. And I did add agave for the sweet. It kind of balances the spicy from the jalapeno and the cumin. But if you, again, you're brave and you don't want to add the agave, you don't have to. Or if you need a little bit more agave to kind of blend out the spice, go ahead and do that. So I want to show you how simple it is to actually stuff these. Oh, it smells so good. And you know, honestly, if you don't want or you don't have a dehydrator, you don't need to put these in the dehydrator. I just like the really cooked effect that these get. It's very comforting and it's very reminiscent, you know, of cooked food. But these are absolutely delicious as they are. Beautiful. So remember those stems from the portobello that we used a little bit earlier? We stuck those aside. I'm going to show you what we can do with those. So what I would do now is take these portobello mushrooms, stuff all of them, and I'd place them into a 9x13 baking dish. Clear some of this out, which looks like this, and I'd place it in the dehydrator for about 6 hours. And you can see how beautiful the portobellos actually start to look. And the marinade is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to clean this up and I'm going to show you what the finished product looks like. Be right back. Okay, so we're back with our final product, and you can see this portobello looks delicious, because it is. I promise you, it's really, really good. And you can see the added addition that I created from the stem. This is really simple to make. Again, it's available for download. It's just simply taking the stem, chopping it up, adding some tomatoes and parsley and a little bit of oil, and voila, makes a beautiful topping and a gorgeous presentation. Because again, remember, we eat with our eyes first. All right. I'm Chef Tina Jo. Remember, please, be good to you. Make your life delicious. Bye for now.